welcome back to another episode of The Biggest Transformation. So I'm sitting down here looking through the numbers, looking through what has transpired throughout the past week, looking at the fact that we're about to do our third weigh-in. The weigh-in for after we've had prep week, we've had week one, and now we're getting ready to do our weigh-in coming into the third week. And let me just say, when I'm looking at the numbers, in total, before this weigh-in, they have lost a total of 73.8 pounds, these 7 people, including prep week and their first week. That is like insane. Insane. So anyway, we're going to jump on here, get to the weigh-ins, go through some coaching, go through some questions. If you have not hit the subscribe button yet, ring the notification bell, doing all the things. That way you don't miss any of these episodes. We are journeying with 7 people. Journeying, watching them overcome, watching them learn the skills they need to beat, for some of them, this lifelong battle with obesity. This lifelong battle with food addiction, with emotional eating. And so you're not going to want to miss any of these episodes. It does air every single Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And make sure to smash the like button while you're watching. Encourage them, and let's go ahead and jump on, get our weigh-ins done, and get into this. Okay. Denise, you were going to be first, so go ahead and unmute, girl.
Okay.
We've got Denise making her way to the scale. I was like, wow, Denise, wow.
Look, I'm at my goal and surpassed it.
$289.4.
Yeah.
Karen?
Okay.
Karen's weighing in. $199. Got into Wonderland. Okay, Ash, you are next, girlfriend. 225.2.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. And yay, Karen! Sorry. It's a big moment.
Andy and Peggy, you guys are up next. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like we need music for every person, like a...
Yeah. Okay, here goes Peggy.
$158.
Woo!
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now, Andy, you are up next, brother.
Going. I take my glasses off.
231.4. Good job. Good morning, Judy.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my daughter's gonna do it for me.
This is sweet. Here goes Judy. 231.4. Good job.
You're the same.
You what?
Andy and I are the same.
You are. I didn't even notice that. Hey, and last here on my list is Mr. Shane.
Well, we'll see what happens here.
$364.6. Is that correct?
Correct.
So before today, I just wanted to tell you guys this number because this is like crazy to me. So before today, you guys had lost a total of, in prep week and in week one, you guys had lost a total of 73.8 pounds in the first 2 weeks before today's weigh-in. Isn't that crazy?
including prep week and week 1, 73.8 pounds. Like when I figured that up this week, I was like, wow, that's crazy. But anyway, okay. So far, in first place after this, I'll tell you, first and second place, man, y'all are like right like this week. I was like, holy cow, like within a 0.1% of each other. That's how close first and second place is this week. In first place after 3 weeks, with 0.49% of their body, 48% of their body percentage lost, is Karen in first place. In second place, 0.08% away with 0.48% lost, is Andy. I was like, wow, like y'all are so close. Is Denise. In fourth place with 0.33 is Shane. Fifth with 0.28 is Peggy. Sixth with 0.26 is Ashley. And seventh with 0.25 is Judy. So 0.2, I guess that would be 2%. So 2.5%. 2.6%. Peggy's at 2.8%. Andy, you're at 4.7%. Shane, you're at 3.3%. Denise, you're at 4%. That means, and what that means is you've lost this percentage of the person you are. So think about that. You have lost 2.5% of yourself. Like someone just came up and chopped off, a couple fingers and they're gone. Like it's crazy to think about, because at some point, like I can carry around both, like I can hold all 3 of my kids and still not weigh as much as I did. Like I lost more than them. And so as we go, this number is going to increase with the percentage of yourself that you lost. Shane lost 3.2. Denise lost 1.6. Andy lost 7.4. Peggy lost 1.8. Judy 1.8. Ashley 3.2, and Karen 7.2. So those were the numbers from last week. Okay, cool, good job. So let's talk about food. Let's start there. So, well, at first I want to say this because a couple of you guys had a question that kind of asked about this week, and so I just want to cover this for everybody, because so many times when we're doing things like this, like at least in the past, we get used to operating in a gray zone. And what a gray zone means is, especially if you're doing the containers, well, it's not on the list, but it's kind of made of bread. So I'm going to put it in the container. No, you're not. If it's not on the list, X-may to the thing. Well, from this restaurant, it says that it's, Denise had asked me about a cauliflower pizza. I'm like, no, if it's not on the list, it's a heck to the, remember Family Feud, the big X would come up and go, no, if it is not on the list, guess what? No, no, and no. Like that is operating in a gray zone. And it's so funny. Like our humanistic nature is to try to bend the rules, to try to find the workaround, to try to find it's a broccoli tot. It says its main ingredient is broccoli. Does that count as a veggie? No gray zones. Gray zones do not lead us. We get so used to operating in the gray zone. And really it's cheating when we're trying to diet. And so or trying to lose weight in the past, at least I did, I would always try to operate in the gray zone and push the boundaries and push the limits and make some changes and make it try to fit me. Well, I had overweight habits. I did not have good habits. And so obviously, hence why I was 288 pounds. So no gray zone operating. Stick to your plan. Do not worry about sounding silly or sounding stupid or what is this going to sound like on camera or comparing yourself to what anybody else said. This is about your journey. Like sometimes I think about the things that drove me to lose weight, and it seems so catty and it seems so petty that one of my big deals was I wanted to be able to wear a two-piece. I've never done that ever. And I wanted to be able to. And, some people might look at that and go, oh, Carmen, that's so vain. It's not very noble. And what? It's what motivated me. And our motivations, I choose to believe, come from God Almighty, because he knows how to bait the hook. And so don't judge yourself for your motivations that you probably didn't even give yourself. If your motivation isn't, something that you would deem noble, who cares? As long as that bait gets you to the goal, which is living longer and being healthy, that's really what matters. Perfect. So Shane, what area have you noticed that you're getting stronger?
I'm getting stronger in meal prep. Is something I've never even applied myself at before. I've depended fully on my wife and didn't even care to look at it, to be honest with you. Now it's different. I'm working on getting better at it. I'm taking the time to write out all my foods for the day and the container system, looking at the different options.
Definitely food planning and my mind and my body. I mean, I couldn't move before, and I'm actually moving, and I've moved every single day. So
that's awesome. You look beautiful this morning, by the way.
Thank you. Underneath this is my nightgown.
Hey, girlfriend. Professional on the top, party everywhere else. You're good. I won't tell you what I'm wearing underneath it. No, I'm just kidding.
Just going all in and playing to win, not playing it safe, not giving myself oh, I didn't work 100%. So that's why I didn't succeed. If I would have gone all in, I probably would have lost the weight. I'm not giving myself room to have an excuse. I'm playing to win, but not, I love you all, but not necessarily to win against them, but to win my self-esteem and to win my self-confidence and to win my trust in myself back.
My willpower has really gotten stronger. I am proud of me this week for really sticking to what I wanted to accomplish. And then the cheating, I have not once, gone home and just eat, like going into a closet. I mean, I don't, but I do, yeah, because I wouldn't eat in front of my husband either, because he's known all these times that I've been on these journeys, and so I would secretly eat. So I have not done that at all. And so maybe that goes with my willpower, but that's what has really, I have noticed, it has gotten stronger. I feel like I'm in control. And I wasn't before, even when I lost all my weight. I felt like I was doing it for everybody else instead of for me.
What's different this time?
I'm sick of being me. Like I hit bottom where I really was just tired of who I was. I just didn't like who I was anymore, of being in this yo-yo state of up, down, up, down, up, down, and never getting to the point where I'm actually happy with who I am. And I started counseling, and in the shortest story of that, I just realized a lot of things that was going on in my head that was holding me back. And I think so what's different this time is I'm actually doing steps to make those changes. I'm actually doing it.
So this time, one of the big differences, there's a couple of factors. Number one is the group has been amazing. To be able to chime in and talk to people, share struggles, and it's so much different than like the Facebook groups, which were good, but this is dynamic. This is way different. And the other thing is I'm finding myself slightly motivated by the competition of it all. That definitely helps me as well.
How, even Ashley, I mean, she called me out the one time not in a bad way, but she was like, hey, where are you? And I needed that. I can hide, and I'm good at hiding, and this group doesn't let me hide. So that's been huge for me. And just having other people with me, I feel like I'm not alone on this journey. Like, so many times I've felt like nobody understands me. You know, I'm in a house here where, you know, I have a husband who's never struggled with weight, right? And so you often feel like you're on a journey by yourself, and this group makes you feel like you're not. And every time I'd speak up, they'd be like, hey, I get it. And I'm like, what, you do? And it would shock me. It's like, really? You understand this?
In the way I think, feeling better about myself. I put on a shirt yesterday that was one of my favorite shirts that was getting really tight, and it actually fit, and that felt good. So, yeah.
All right, I was supposed to compose myself. You know, when I made my video, my sister commented, she doesn't like seeing me so sad, and I'm really not sad. I just can't talk. I am. I've been thinking about this all week when Judy had commented about the girl that was skinny, that, you know, it bothered her. But I've always been thin, and 25 pounds on me is a lot. And I've gotten it because I have bad habits. So indifferent right this time is I want to continue my good habits and stay in the healthy mindset and fit body that I want, that I can't wear any of my pants. So it's, even though I'm smaller, it's still a struggle.
So I'm a very social person, and I love making friends, and I feel like I've instantly made 6 new amazing friends and that I care about. And when you guys cry, I cry. And when you hurt, I hurt. And when you laugh, and Shane, my gosh, thank you. You make me laugh all the time. And Judy, you're really funny. But yeah, like even Peggy, every time, like when you just cry, like I hurt. And I get what Carmen's saying. It's not we get you. We know you're not crying because you're sad or, you know, depressed or anything. We know where those tears are, and we know what's coming for you, and we're like excited. So anyway, it's just the friendships.
Oh my gosh. 100%. Having people to be able to talk to, I think like somebody else had said, them getting where I'm at, or hearing something that they're struggling with, and it's like, oh my gosh, I struggled with that too. I feel that way too. So, you know, and they, no matter what you do, if you're having a down moment or an up moment, they're just there to just lift you up. And that for me is so much.
Well, I got to the highest weight I'd ever been at, and that, I don't know why it surprised me, but it did. And doing it with the group is huge. I don't know, something went off in my mind. It was like when my father got about my age, he just started putting on, I gained 20 pounds real quick this year. He gained until he got to 450 pounds. And I just saw that. I'm like, if I don't do something, I'm just going to continue to gain every year. I'm sick of just not feeling good about myself, not feeling good about the way I look, not feeling good about my health, and just just wanted to make that change. And I've done it before. I've lost all the weight. And obviously every single time I've gained it all back. And in my mind, I just don't want to do that again. It's, for some reason, the food is not that big of a struggle this time. It's always been a huge struggle.
And what is the most insecure part of your body?
My body. There's not too much about it that I have felt secure about. Probably for me, I would say my arms. I really don't like my arms. I don't like the flab. I won't wear tank tops because I cannot stand how my arms look. I get embarrassed wearing tank tops, swimsuits, anything because of the sagging skin. So one of my big goals, and has been for a long time, is I want to wear a tank top.
The most insecure part of my body, this week, I'm going to say my love handles on my sides. I noticed when I was doing pictures and things, like when I go to put my hands to the sides on my hips, I can't. So it's either like above the flab or like way down below, which just feels awkward. So it's yeah, that's this week. I actually thought about that. I was like, dang, I can't wait to get rid of this.
I don't gain much weight in my legs, my stomach, my chest, and my face. I gain my head grows. And my arms don't really gain a lot of weight. My legs don't. So I'm one of those like construction guys with the 36 waist, but the 45 or whatever stomach.
Hot tie between my tummy, which is a sweet word for my belly. Tummy just sounds better. And my arms.
My midsection and my upper legs. I hate my upper legs. I do wear a bathing suit, but I hate my upper legs. And I can't wait for all of that my midsection to just get smaller and smaller and smaller. I mean, my ultimate goal would be to wear a two-piece.
I had a friend that just got a brand new Corvette, and he put in the bucket seats, and he souped it up, and it was really awesome. And he was like, "You want to drive?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I didn't fit in the seat because they were anyway, I was big. So that was really disappointing and very frustrating in that moment. I felt terrible.
I had my son one time when he was little come up to me, and he looked at my arm and he looked at my thigh and he said, "Mom, why do yours look like tree trunks and not like Dad's?" And I just sat there going, I don't even know how to respond to that. And they've said more, like a variety of those kinds of comments. I know another time they said something about my stomach. Why does this jiggle? And those were painful to me, almost more than other people. Because I wanted them to look up to me, and I didn't want them to look at me like a fat person.
Oh my God. Besides the classic, "You have such a pretty face," I would say in college, at a bar, with my friends, walking by a group of boys, and one saying she's hot, and then the other one saying she's fat. And that is just like ingrained in my head. Good for the one that thought I was hot, and I was probably 150 pounds. Nice.
Wow. And that was in college.
Yeah.
And you still replay that.
Oh my God, I can hear it. She's fat. Ugh.
Wow.
I'm done. I don't want to continue this. I just want to get to a healthy weight and stay there. My legs have always been yucky.
Well, not yucky, but not where you want them.
Right. Oh, you really have gained weight. It's all in your legs. I can see that little pooch coming out. I'm like, yep, thanks.
Sometimes people need a muzzle.
I'll just go with the most recent because people say rude things to me all the time about my weight. So the most recent was, as I keep saying, my husband had already lost a lot of weight. We went on a cruise in November, not this past, but the year before. And he was looking fine, and I felt pretty because we had no kids, and I was like taking care of myself and doing my hair and everything. And I just felt good in excitement, but I got 3 different times, not once, not twice, 3 different times on that cruise in 1 week, people asked me if I was pregnant. And I wasn't, in front of my husband. So not only was I embarrassed and ashamed, and if it would have happened alone, I could have just like had that moment by myself to thank God nobody heard that or saw that. But when your husband's looking fine and he's standing next to you and he's ashamed, not ashamed, but he's just as embarrassed for you and protective of you, he didn't know what to say. That sucked.
We were in Germany and I was with my family and we were going on a ride and we were laughing and having a good time. And I really wanted to ride this ride because we had stood there and watched it. And I got on the ride and it was one of those bars that comes down like this, you know, and it locks in. And everybody's on the ride. I'm on the ride and the guy kept trying to lock it in and lock it in and lock it in. And of course, he didn't speak very good English. He's German. He says, "You'll get off. You can't ride this ride." And to have to get off that ride in front of everybody. And I mean, there's a crowd there because there's people waiting there to get on the ride. And I had to get off. That was, I just wanted to run and cry and hide.
Like some of you guys brought up stuff from, I mean, decades ago that you are still using as a weapon against yourself. You are still using someone else's words that they said years ago to hurt yourself. And, I'm really thankful that some of you guys brought that up because the truth is most of us don't say it out loud. We just use the weapon inside to hurt ourselves and to remind ourselves and to make ourselves feel less than. And part of getting on the other side of that is realizing that, because let me tell you, feeling fluffy isn't just external, it's in here. Have you ever seen somebody go and lose weight and they don't stop? They get unhealthy and they never think they're skinny enough. They never think they're fit enough. They can't look in the mirror and ever appreciate their form. They're constantly picking themselves apart. I think we've all seen it. That's because in here. And this is why you'll hear me tell you, you will never hate your way to the body you want, to the health you want. Hating your body, depreciating your body is a habit. It has nothing to do with looking at what's in the mirror. And so part of this is learning to love yourself exactly where you're at. Doesn't mean you're staying there, but it means accepting and loving yourself. Because if you hate yourself and you don't like yourself and you've gotten the habit of looking in the mirror and looking at everything you don't like, if you look in the mirror and the first thing you go to is your arms, or the first thing you go to is your cellulite, or the first thing you go to is whatever, that is a habit that's not going to change from 250 to 150 pounds. And here's what I will say on that. We are not responsible for the thoughts that come into our head. We are responsible for what we do with them. And here's what and let me explain that a little bit. We all have thoughts that come into our mind. It's, do we allow that thought to take seed, or do we take that thought captive and say, no, get the heck out of here? And I'll give you an example. So this week I'm looking in the mirror and I'm just looking at different parts of my body, and I was done with that womanly time so I could see my abs again, and I was like, oh, look it, and I was like looking for stuff, and then I turned around and I saw cellulite on my behind, and I was like, I immediately thought, freaking cellulite. Now let me just tell you, I'm never going to get rid of it. I'm 40 years old. I've had kids. I'm white. So it is what it is. It's called aging. And so I had the thought of freaking cellulite. And then I thought, no. So I've trained myself to do this. The next thought was, yeah, but look at my booty. I got a booty. Look at that. Like, so I did not stay focusing on the cellulite. Because if I would have stayed focusing on the cellulite, if I focus on the cellulite, what bunny trail does that take me down? Look at the cellulite. You've been working out for all this time and you still got it. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can go all kinds of places with that. Versus, no, you are not going to live in my head. Look at my booty. Look at my booty. And so I could choose to focus on that or the cellulite. Sorry, Shane and Andy. I mean, you guys don't. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it was the flip I made in my brain of, no, I'm going to focus on the fact that I like my booty, not the fact that it has cellulite on it. And so just really being aware that word and thoughts are seed. So think about what you're thinking about. Think about what you're allowing yourself to focus on. Don't focus on the hard. Focus on where you're getting stronger. There is always going to be a hard. There's always going to be something you are struggling with more than others. But what you focus on, what you feed is what you're going to get. And so, and this is also a habit. So I'm going to encourage you to really do your very best to focus on what's flourishing, focusing on what's going right. Focus on the changes you're going to make if you're going to focus on anything, not the problem. Don't focus on the problem. Focus on the solution. So I want to encourage you to think about what you're thinking about, to control your thoughts, because this is a habit. It's a habit. Stinking thinking is a habit. Focusing on the negative is a habit. Focusing on the problem is a habit. Dwelling on what's not going right or fast enough is a habit. Also ignoring the problem is a habit. All those things. And so, yeah. Taking every thought captive, being your biggest cheerleader, focusing on the solution, not the problem, and making sure that you are speaking life over yourself. Most of us speak to ourselves in a way that if someone else spoke to us like that, we would deck them. We'd deck them. Think about the things that some of us say to ourselves. If somebody else said that to you, like, oh, it would be like fighting words, but yet we allow ourselves to speak to ourselves like that. So don't speak to yourself in a way that you wouldn't allow anybody else to, even silently, just because it doesn't come out of your mouth. And other people's words can't be weapons against us unless we allow it to. So if you have a thought that replays in your head, in fact, I'm going to add that to your homework. Okay. Cool beans. Because listen, I know this isn't therapy, but these emotional things that we hold on to keep us stuck. And if we can't move past them, we won't move past this weight thing. Why? Because weight, if you listen to our Wednesday night impromptu meeting, being overweight is emotional. It's not logical. It's emotional. I want you to make a list, because for some of you, it's a list. And there's no measurement of how long this list needs to be. It can be however long it is. If it's one thing, great. If it's 10 things, great. I mean, there's not a prize. Just be honest with what it is. A list of memories you have, or things that other people said, or scenarios that happened that you're allowing to use as a weapon against yourself. That you yourself, things your kids have said, things your spouse have said, scenarios. I just recently told my husband, it's so funny. when Andy was talking, I thought of this, and I just told my husband this week. Like, this was, so there's still things that come up that I'm like, oh yeah, this happened. And he's like things, because again, he's never struggled with his weight. So he's never gone through such measures to hide. But so there's a leadership development conference that I've attended many of. And during one of those segments, there's a segment inside of there where the people inside of your group go around and say something they don't appreciate about you. And a lot of times it's physical, because like you're in a scenario and it's designed, I know it sounds weird if you've never been to this, but it's actually designed to raise your leadership. And as a leader, you have to deal with people saying bad stuff about you. And for many people, we can't handle it. We let it take us out. So my biggest fear inside of that exercise was that people would say something about my weight. I would pick my outfits for that day. Like, I always knew it was happening on day 2 of that conference. So I would plan my outfits so that on day 2, that outfit would be like my skinniest outfit, the outfit that I thought made me look the smallest. And that's what I would wear on that day. I would pray that morning that out of all the critiques I would get, no one would say something about my weight. And it was the most obvious. I was 288 pounds. I was morbidly obese. I knew that the skinny outfit I was putting on was really a size 22. It wasn't skinny anything. Like, I knew this. But here, my biggest insecurity was that someone would say out loud that I was overweight. That I would pray about it and plan a whole outfit to be my skinny outfit. I would like double up the Spanx. All in fear of what someone else would say. And I look back on that and it's like, I never verbalized that out loud. I never told anybody that I did that. This was all something I did inside of my own head. We all have these protective things that we do to try to protect ourselves. And so when Andy talked about, I'm just not going to take my shirt off because it saves me having to go through any of that. It's this thing that we put in place to protect ourselves from. And so anyway, make a list and then bring that to our meeting next week. I want you to make a list. I don't care if there's one thing on it. I don't care if there's 10. I don't care if there's 20, whatever it is, a list of things that people have said or things people have done to make you feel shameful or bad about your body. And sometimes they might not even know it. So
absolutely crazy, insane. In the 3 weeks that we've been doing the biggest transformation, we had prep week, we've had our week 1, our week 2. These 7 individuals that you just watched, these 7 individuals that are overcoming, these 7 individuals that are being brave and vulnerable, that are battling their old habits, have lost 100 freaking pounds. Like, if that doesn't just make you go, yes, yes, and freaking yes, 100 pounds in 3 weeks from 7 people that have a track record of weight loss failure, a track record of struggle, a track record of being defined and limited by their weight, then I don't know what does. To be in this group and watching them every single week, confronting bad habits, confronting generational things that have been passed down from their friends, their family, things that they've seen everybody around them do that they've battled with. It has inspired me, and the messages that I've got from some of you who have given up and given in, and watching them battle and fight and overcome is now empowering you to do the very same thing. And so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you have rang the notification bell, because this airs live every single Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we'll be back with another show, another weigh-in, another episode, watching them overcome and journey. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this pilot season of The Biggest Transformation. Thank you for all the shares. Thank you for all the thumbs ups. Thank you for all the encouragement for these 7 people. You are making a difference in helping spread the message. You're making a difference encouraging them to keep going, and that what they're doing is bigger than just their own personal weight loss. And so anyway, We will see you next Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for liking. We'll see you next week.